I've always believed crime has rules. Simple ones. Don't get greedy, don't get emotional, and most importantly, never break crime 101. Lately though, someone had been breaking those rules, and the chaos they left behind was starting to attract attention. The kind of attention professionals like me avoid at all costs. Every job followed the same pattern: clean entry, perfect timing, millions in diamonds, gone without a trace. Whoever was behind the original jobs wasn't just a thief, he was a professional. Professionals follow rules. But then new robberies started appearing, messy ones, violent ones, and that's when I realized someone else had entered the game. Someone who didn't understand Crime 101. The detective chasing these robberies was relentless. Years of experience, sharp instincts, the kind of man who never stops pulling threads until the whole story unravels. Unfortunately for him, I understood this world better than he did. Because while he was hunting the thief, I was the one living the life. On the surface, I was just another successful man enjoying a quiet life. Money, freedom, peace. But behind closed doors, I was something else entirely. A professional thief. One who followed Crime 101 perfectly, until someone else started breaking the rules and threatening everything. Every professional needs information, and mine came from a man who knew everyone in the underground. He found buyers, targets, connections. In my world, information is more valuable than diamonds. That night he told me about something interesting. A seller moving rare stolen jewelry, a deal worth millions. The kind of opportunity professionals wait for. But what I didn't realize was that someone else was watching. The next robbery told me everything I needed to know. It was loud, sloppy, violent. Whoever did it didn't care about the rules. And criminals like that don't just get themselves caught, they get everyone caught. A few days later, my phone rang, but it wasn't him. They found his body behind a warehouse, shot. No witnesses, no suspects. But I knew exactly who was responsible. The rule breaker wanted access to the same network I used, and he eliminated the one man who could expose him. That's when the situation stopped being business. It became personal. While I was searching for the reckless thief, the detective chasing these robberies was thinking differently. Instead of chasing the robberies themselves, he started chasing where the diamonds would eventually go. Because stolen jewelry always ends up in the same place. A sale. The detective discovered a real black market seller flying in to move stolen jewelry. So he did something bold. He intercepted the man during the trip and took his place. Now the detective wasn't a cop chasing criminals anymore. He was the seller, and he was about to meet the buyer, which meant the trap was set. Crime 101 teaches you something important. Never reveal yourself until you understand the situation. So when the seller arrived in the city, I didn't meet him as myself. I became the driver. Just another employee sent to pick him up from the airport. But the man who stepped into my car wasn't the seller. It was the detective. And neither of us knew the truth yet. When we finally arrived at the hotel, everything looked exactly like a normal deal. The buyer was already there. Sitting beside him was his wife, and the man I had just driven from the airport, the seller. At that point, I still didn't know who he really was, but something about him felt off. The way he talked, the way he carried himself, the questions he asked during the ride, it didn't feel right. Still, a deal is a deal. So I prepared to begin the job. In one move, I pulled my gun and took control of the room. The buyer froze, his wife panicked, and the seller slowly raised his hands. I stepped closer and took the gun hidden behind his back. That's when the truth finally came out.
Put the gun down! I'm a police officer. You're under arrest, put the gun down.
He was a detective. For a second, even I was surprised. But what I didn't know was that there was still another weapon in the jewelry box. The box he brought with the diamonds. I ordered him to open it, slowly, carefully, and that's when he waited for his moment. The second I looked away, he moved. Fast. A gun hidden inside the box appeared in his hand, and now it was pointed straight at me. Just like that, the room exploded into chaos. 2 men, 2 guns, both of us finally understanding who the other really was. And that's when the situation got even worse, because we weren't alone anymore. Everything got worse. The rule breaker showed up. The reckless thief had heard about the deal too, but unlike professionals, he didn't plan anything. He walked straight into the room and straight into the trap. Now there were 3 guns in the room, and no one trusted anyone. The rule breaker had the advantage. His gun pointed at both of us, and I could see exactly where this was going. If he killed the detective, the entire police force would come crashing down on everyone connected to this job. Crime 101 has one final rule: survive. The reckless thief collapses to the floor. The rule breaker finally paid the price for ignoring the rules. The detective and I stood there, looking at the body. Then he made me lower my gun. He understood something now. Even though I was a thief, the chaos wasn't coming from me. It came from the man lying on the floor.
Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna get in your car and you're gonna drive and never come back.
So he gave me a choice. So I walked away, leaving the diamonds and my old life behind. When the other officers arrive, the dead thief takes the blame for everything, and I disappear. For years, I lived by Crime 101: discipline, patience, control. But sometimes, the smartest move in the game is knowing when to leave it. Because in the end, crime isn't destroyed by the police. It's destroyed by people who break the rules. And that is the first lesson of Crime 101.